Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Adam-Wilber here with Volpine Creations. As always, we do not monetize these videos, so if you want to show us some love, just head over to volpinecreations.com, sign up for our newsletter, and check out our portfolio of magic. It's also where you can pre-order the coffee cups and beans. That's all the advertising we're gonna do. Let's jump into today's video. In today's video, I'm answering a question from Thomas Dixon. The question is from one of our other videos. So if you have any questions that you'd like me to touch on, just drop a comment below. We read through all the questions and I do my best to make sure we answer all of them. Today's question is a great one. What are your thoughts on agencies and/or directories? Second follow-up question. Where do you get most of your leads and what sources do you think work best to find good quality leads in the corporate world? So I'll break it down. Basically, the question is, how do you get your leads? And do you think agencies or directories are a good place to do that? First and foremost, when you say corporate work, that can mean a lot of things. Most of my corporate work these days are keynote speeches or after dinner parties type thing. So where do you get those? Those are drastically different. Keynote speeches, that's a whole different ballgame and a topic we could cover on another, well, really much more than one video, but a topic we'll cover at another time. If you're starting out and you've never done any corporate work before and you're trying to tap into that game, how do you get there? Let me put it to you as simply as possible. You have to understand more than anything what their actual needs are. The clients that you're trying to work with, what are their pain points and what can you bring to the table to help facilitate easing their mind of those pain points, right? So if their main concern is that we have 200 really smart and prestigious people in a room that have seen just about everything, I want to do something that's really going to blow their mind. You've got to genuinely take a minute and ask yourself this question. Is my show good enough to fill a room like that? If I have a room of 200 CEOs, they're all millionaires, they've all seen just about every form of entertainment you can imagine. Do you have a show that is unique or different enough or special enough that that's gonna fill that room in a way that the event planner who booked you is gonna feel good about it? And if the honest answer to that question is no, then you've got to build the show. Without the show and the offering, it's not even worth approaching a corporate market, okay? You've got to have a show that speaks their language, that is what they're expecting. And let me be blunt, you know, if you're a 19, 20-year-old kid trying to tap into the corporate market, it's gonna be a bit more challenging than say you were 30 years old and looked like you might have played the part in the corporate world. You just have to know your audience. So if you are a young person, you've got to have your presentation or at least your marketing material speak their language. Maybe it's saying, hey, I know I'm young, but I've been raised in a corporate family or something. I mean, that's a terrible example, but the point is you have to know your market. You have to understand, do you fit into that market? And if so, does the show that you're bringing accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, okay? So let's say you've got a great show. You've got a great corporate show. It's 45 minutes. It's all clean comedy. It's really ironed out. You know the laugh lines, you know all the movements, and you're really confident with it. How do you get it in front of the right audiences? Well, if you're starting from scratch, it's not easy. There's a few things you could do like Google pay-per-click, but if you're having, for instance, corporate magician as a keyword on Google pay-per-click, that's $16 to $20 every time somebody clicks that. And I'll tell you right now, the majority of people who click that will be competition, will be other magicians either looking at your website or trying to run up your clicks. While Google pay-per-click is something I do, it's not the most effective way. You're asking about agencies and directories. Get on all of them. Why not? Make a really great profile. One of the best shows I ever did, I got off Thumbtack, which is an online agency. It's actually, if you see right there, that playing card right there, that's signed by President Bush. I got to perform for him and his wife at their estate in Maine from a Thumbtack gig. Now, I never thought anything great would come from it, but there are potential possibilities out there, so why not? If it's not gonna break your bank, sign up for all of them, okay? Make sure that your profile on there makes it very clear that you're marketing towards a corporate audience so you don't get a bunch of birthday shows for kids coming up, but absolutely, jump on all of them. Agencies, that's a good question. If you find the right agency and you're their go-to magician, it can be a gold mine. I have two friends that work exclusively with agencies and they're very, very busy. But their main goal is to make sure that agency loves them. I mean, above and beyond sending birthday cards to the entire team at the agency, sending care packages for the holidays. That's their one client that they've got to keep happy because they keep them busy through all their clients. One other thing to consider about agencies, if you put all your eggs into that basket and all of your work is coming from an agency, what happens if they switch hands or the high-ups quit and they no longer use your service? Well, now you're really screwed because your entire market is gone. So yes, use them all, approach them all, but make sure that that's not where you're putting all of your efforts. Diversify your marketing efforts so if one thing starts lacking, then you can lean on something else. So when I used to work at an agency or work for an agency, all I did was call them up and say, hey, I'm new to this area. I've got a great offering. Could I have 15 minutes in one of your lunch breaks and I'll come show you guys what I do. I went in there, I killed it for 15 minutes, gave everyone business cards and followed back up. I then worked with them quite often. The downside is I found out that they were overcharging the client and underpaying me, so I had to stop working with them. I don't love working with agencies because usually you're one of many. Here's a subtle trick that you can try. Have a friend call that agency and say, hey, I'm trying to book Adam-Wilber. Do you guys have him on your roster? If you do that, it puts you on their radar. You know, is it sneaky and bad business? I don't think so, but again, use it at your caution. There's ways to get agencies to know you if you're a little bit clever and you use some creativity behind it. So use them, but don't rely on them solely. What I suggest you do is find a restaurant in your area that is a high-end restaurant with the clientele that you want to be working for. So don't go to Applebee's or something like that. Find a restaurant in your area that is a business restaurant where there's a lot of business lunches going on, and do whatever you can to get a gig at that restaurant. All right, the best way to do that, go in there, eat a few times, get to know the staff, and work your way into that restaurant. Do it for free. Do not charge them anything. Ask them maybe for a free dinner. So say once a month or once a week, I can come in here, do 2 hours of strolling magic. We'll give your restaurant a new and fresh ambiance that nowhere else has. It'll be something that the clients will remember. And better yet, if a meal is running late or something's happening, that's where I can come in and be a buffer and distract them from the delay, right? So get them on your side. Let them know, hey, I'm not an idiot. This is really gonna help me as much as it'll help you because I can market to the clients that I'm trying to market to. And all I ask is you allow me to hand out some business cards. I'll never take tips from them and I will never charge you. I just want to be able to keep my chops fresh, so I'm always practicing and be in front of the demographic that I perform best in front of. That's the best advice I can give you. Find that restaurant, do whatever it takes to get in there, and while you're there, do amazing close-up magic and subtly drop in the cue. Oh, this is my favorite kind of magic to do, but most of my work is standing on stage at corporate events. Plant those seeds, so when they're watching your tableside magic, they go, interesting. We have a corporate event coming up. Maybe we could book them for that. So really, that's the best advice I can give you because that's what's worked best for me. Finding the restaurant, doing some tableside magic, and building your network that way. A few other options would be things like going to Chamber of Commerce in your area. So find the Chamber of Commerce, ask them if you could sit down at a meeting, introduce yourself, and show what services you have to offer, as well as like the Lions clubs and things like that. Offer to do free shows, but you want to make sure that they are prestigious enough that they'll have the clientele you're looking for. So if it's a Lions Club with 10 members and they all just meet so they can drink and have fun, that's not going to work for you. If it's a Chamber of Commerce that has 3 or 4 businesses in it, probably not the best fit. I live in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. When I approach Chamber of Commerces, I go to the bigger cities in New Hampshire and approach those like Exeter and Portsmouth and Concord. And then I can establish myself not as a local business because I don't live in their town, but as a business in the state that's trying to diversify my portfolio, and they all understand that. If you give them a good show, you let them know who you are and what you offer, then they can become advocates for you. And better yet, find out how you can help them. Hey, what are you struggling with in your business? Is there something I can help you with? Or is there somebody I know that maybe I could put you in touch with? If you start helping people solve their problems in their business, you become their friend and you become their first choice for entertainment. So that was sort of a lot of information to take at once. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no, this is the way to do it. The way I've done it is I've seen great success with past clients. So make sure your show is incredible, as well as find that restaurant with the clientele you want to work for, and then go to your Chamber of Commerce your Lions clubs and things like that, and just offer your services. Say, hey, I'm just trying to get known in the area. I've got a new business and I'd love to sit in on one of your meetings. Between those things, that should keep you busy enough. The other thing you can do is, of course, have a great website with a great marketing campaign behind it, maybe a PDF that you send to them that shows all of the highlights of what you've done, and pick the phone up and call the biggest companies in your area. It's not fun, it's grunt work, but that's a way to do it. You pick the phone up, you make 10 phone calls a day, every day for 5 days a week, and you do that for a month, you're gonna start landing corporate work, okay? So it's just like everyone says, we're in show business, but the biggest part of that is the business. You've gotta understand the corporate business. They don't need a magician. They don't care about a magician, and if they do, they can find a million magicians with the click of a button. So what is it that you're offering that other magicians aren't? And if you understand the corporate world, if you understand what they're really trying to accomplish, you can speak their language in a way that most magicians can't, and you'll be their first choice. I hope that helps. Thanks for the question. And as always, if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. We'll definitely get to them. Hope you guys are having an amazing week, and it only gets better from here. So thanks for being a part of this. Thanks for watching this channel. Thanks for your support. And as always, until next time, my friends, onward.